I was just trying to be overly critical with it. Hi guys, I'm PUTSY and welcome back to my channel. This is actually going to be the very first ever more like reading vlog. I've done a lot of vlog here on my channel for the past couple of months, but I never do like specific reading vlog, which I'm very excited about, but it's also kind of make me nervous because I don't know if it's going to be interesting or not. I mean, I'm not a booktube channel. I'm not going to change my channel into like a booktube channel or anything, but I really want to incorporate more book content here on my channel because it's like my new obsession in 2021. Now that I'm actually obsessed with reading and books in general and buying books, which is not very ideal. This month, I actually able to finish more than 3 books already, which is insane for me. By the way, today is Saturday, but let's talk about the first book that I'm planning on hopefully finishing soon. I'm already reading this much in. I'm on page 146. This is Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. This is the second book of the Serpent and Dove series. Finished this one like 2 or 3 days ago. I actually like this book more than I thought I would. I don't know what I was expecting. I know I'm going to like it, but I just don't know that I'm going to like it more, especially since not a lot of people rave about this book here on booktube. It's a little bit polarizing. Some people really love the first one, not so much on the second one. There are people who love both of them, and then there are people who just never really talk about them. At least it rarely made into like favorite list of fantasy books, you know, but I can also see why it's not like a favorite for a lot of people. So first, it is about a witch and a witch hunter. As you can guess, they fall in love. I hope this is not a spoiler because it's also kind of mentioned in the back. They have a very unfortunate encounter with one another and they were forced to get together. But the witch hunter doesn't know that this girl is a witch. And this book told in dual perspective from Luz and Reed's perspective, and it really helped me connect to both characters a lot more. It was set in way before 1700, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. It also pushed boundaries of how women are perceived during that period of time, because obviously women are more like supposed to act very ladylike, but these main characters are not like that at all. And we can see Reed feeling a bit apprehensive and dislike her a bit at first, but she also piqued his curiosity. I love that we have such a strong badass female character who are not afraid to be herself in a time when it was not okay or acceptable for a woman to act unladylike or not proper in any way. So I love that she pushed boundaries and just living her life being herself, and by being herself is actually what makes this witch hunter interested in her and falling in love and everything. The only thing I feel like this book is lacking is the storyline is very predictable. There are a lot of things that happen in a book that I can already predict a few pages in before it was revealed, but nonetheless this book is very enjoyable, very easy to read, and the romance in this is also very good in my opinion because we get two point of view and we can see the romance building up through both characters' eyes. The hate to lover trope in this book is built very well in my opinion. At least I feel some sort of attachment to their relationship and the way they work through their relationship despite the fact that they don't really know each other that much. I was planning on spacing out reading between the first and the second book until the third books come out, which is I think it's going to be in July or August if I'm not mistaken. I was so into it that I cannot wait any longer, so I just need to get into this book as fast as I possibly can. Like I said, I'm already like 150 pages in and I actually also like this a lot, but I can understand why people who love the first book not like the second one because it's a little bit different the way they build the story. The first one is like a very romance centered and they build everything that happens around them around the relationship, but the second one is more like all the problems, all the drama, all the like crises in their world happened in the center, and then their relationship has to kind of hold on to it and survive in the middle of all the craziness that happened around them. So it's like a flipped kind of focus, but it makes the character not just one-dimensional. We see more of characters and the changes in their personalities and everything. They're getting through some stuff in the second one more than the first book, and also maybe because I read both of these back to back, so it's still fresh in my mind what happened in the first one, so it kind of flows a little bit better into all the things that happened in the second book. I'm scared though for the relationship because I really want them to, like, I root for them so much, and I don't want anything bad to happen to both of them. And I also love all the side characters. Coco, who's best friend, also another witch, and Ansel and Bo, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Like, every single character are very different and interesting and just very unique, especially considering like the setting of the story take place, who they are before they met each other, and they have a very great, like, unconventional dynamic with each other, a very different group of people, and they have to work through all those differences for the greater good, you know, to solve these big problems that they have. And I feel like the way Shelby built the storyline in the second book is a little bit better than the first one, because I feel a little bit more like, oh, what's going to happen next? I don't know who is this person that just comes into the story and what's going to happen. Like, I really cannot, I haven't been able to predict anything yet as of right now, but we'll see. But yeah, I need to get up now because this pants is starting to cut off the circulation on my thighs. It's not very comfortable. So yeah. So I made some little progress. I'm now on page 162. Not a lot of progress in the storyline and the plot and everything. It's still kind of building up to the main event. But like I said, I like it because I haven't been able to guess anything right. It's so unpredictable at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen. There are some new characters in here that I don't even know if they're good or bad, so that's great. It keeps me guessing and keeps me on my toes. So on that part, plot wise, I feel like this is better than the first book, but romance wise, not a lot of romance happened, unlike the first book, because spoiler alert, Reed and Lou are on their separate ways, seeking for some allies. As of right now, there are a lot of strain between Lou and Reed. Makes me a little bit anxious for their relationship. I hope it's going to be well. I mean, I think it will be, but still, it's not as like romantic and as easy to read as the first one, but still enjoying it so much. Yesterday, I spent half the day outside grocery shopping and all that. I didn't expect to read all that much yesterday, but I actually ended up reading quite a lot at night before bed. Just spent hours on end, like until around 2 a.m. reading, which is not very good for my sleeping schedule, but it's okay. I just really into the story. I just want to keep reading, so I did, and now I'm on page 302 in a new chapter called The Wolf's Descent. I really like the story, but I also have quite a few things to say about this book already, and now I understand why some people who love the first one can dislike this one. But if I try to put my mindset into this, is even though it's in a series, but they're two completely different books, and we need this storyline so that the story is moving forward more exciting. I don't know if it's going to be a spoiler or not, so if you haven't read the book, maybe you should skip this part of the video. Lou and Reed's relationship in this book really went through it. They have a completely different dynamic now. It was mentioned early on in the book. Madame Labelle, which is spoiler alert, Reed's mom, had some concern about Lou because she saw it firsthand with her mom, Morgan, that she used to be such a nice, kind-hearted person. They used to be best friends growing up. Madame Labelle believed that it's in her lineage, it's in their blood. Slowly but surely, they started to change and become less themselves and more evil, and she kind of recognized the same pattern starts to happen with Lou. But we also saw that Lou started to become a lot more reckless with her magic, because in this book, so far that we know of, there are two different magic systems. The first one is like Lou drew their magic from the earth, from the land, and from their ancestors, I believe. So if you take something, you need to give something back. It's like karma. The world require balance. So if you try to have an enhanced hearing for like 5 minutes, you have to sacrifice maybe your vision for that 5 minutes. But there's also magic like the one Coco has, which is they drew magic from their own body, so inward. It can be from their blood, from their tears, or maybe even their sweats. I don't know how that works, but most people from Coco's coven drew their magic from blood, which is why Coco has a lot of scars in her hand. So it's like a very different kind of magic, which is why both coven is like very separated and becomes enemies with one another. Lou's mother and her coven think that they're like more superior, but despite all of that, Coco and Lu is still managed to be best friends, which is amazing. But yeah, going back to Lu's personality, that's now kind of shifted and changed. We first saw this in the book 1, even though we didn't get a lot of explanation about how it will affect Lu and her life later on, but she did change someone's memory, Bass's memory, in order to help him run from the tower when he got caught. She also didn't want Bass to reveal her and Coco's identity, that they're witch, so she altered Bass and her own memory. But now, getting into the second book, very early on, we got to see that Madame Labelle was concerned about that, because if Lu changed her memories, it's very dangerous. It can affect her as a person as a whole, and that totally makes sense. Like, I have that similar question in the first book, especially since now she tried to change memories about her mom. I know her mom is like very evil and just horrible person, but her life filled with so much love and joy and happy memories when she was a child also has something to do with her mom. If she doesn't have any of those happy memories, who knows what kind of person she will become. It will probably make her less loving. So we don't exactly know for now if the change in her personality has something to do with her blood and her lineage, or maybe that's just because of her changing a lot of her memories. Who knew? Maybe that's also the reason why Morgane becomes an evil person. Maybe she was reckless in her teenage life and she started to change a lot of her memories in order to do some magic. But we see now that Lu is started to become more and more reckless. She's not as loving and as understanding. She started to act kind of differently towards Reed as well, which is makes my heart it breaks my heart to see them like this. Their relationship just shifted and it's very uncomfortable to witness, because I really like their relationship, but I feel like it's needed so that the story will get more exciting. But still, and I hate seeing them like that. One of the things that I don't like about the book is sometimes I get so confused in the story. Something happened and we didn't get any sort of explanation whatsoever at first. Like the one with the memory, it happened first in the first book, but we get the explanation sort of the first part of the second book, which is a long while to wait. But yeah, that's just one minor cons. I'm going to have my online piano lesson in about 2 hours. I really want to get some work done first before that. I need to do a lot of paperwork, which is not exciting, and I also need to start editing another vlog, and hopefully I can read at least 10 pages of this before my piano lesson, so I can read at least 50 pages today. Oh, another exciting thing happened today. A very unexpected package come in the mail. I received an order from Book Depository. I'm so excited. This is the second book in the Amber in the Ashes series. Book Depository usually takes like 4 to 6 weeks, if you're not lucky, sometimes even more, to my country. But I'm surprised because this arrives way faster than I anticipated. Last night, I said I was going to read at least 50 pages. I ended up reading around 117 pages, which is kind of a lot for me to read that many pages in one sitting because I'm such a slow reader. I feel like I mentioned that quite a lot. Now I'm on page 422 and I have this much left. I'm scared for what's going to happen, and I'm also kind of dreading it because I don't want to wait a couple of months until the third book comes out. I hope it doesn't end in a cliffhanger. So many things has happened in the book since the last time I talked to you guys. What I was afraid of actually happened between Lou and Reed. They got into this really big fight and they both were very angry, and they managed to say things that I think they both know will make the other one even more angry. You know, Lou is started to change, and now it's very apparent that something bad is happening inside of her, because every time she does magic, a powerful kind, she kind of zone out. The Lou that we all know and love kind of gone, and comes this like an alter ego almost, which kind of reminded everyone of her mother, which is not a good sign as well. Kind of one of the things that made them had that huge fight. Lou think Reed hasn't changed at all, but Reed also think Lou has changed into a different kind of person because of her magic, which made him dislike magic even more maybe. I think both of them are in the wrong at this point. Reed hasn't really tried to be open-minded towards Lou, but Lou also just never listened when Reed asked something out of her, and she kept having this secret, but Lou still hasn't realized what's going on with her and what was wrong with her, because obviously, even though maybe she kind of felt something different when she did all of this magic, but at the same time she didn't see what everyone else saw. As you saw, I just finished the book. I needed to take some time to process what I've just read because it was a little bit, it's a lot. I'm glad I'm able to finish Blood and Honey in this vlog, but I'm also, it was such a fail that I thought I would be able to read like 3 books in one vlog, which is, I mean, seriously, who do I think I am? Of course, that wasn't a very attainable goal, but at least I'm able to finish Blood and Honey. I think the last time I talked to you, it was right after Reed visited his father. He thought he was going to be able to persuade him to change the course of his action, which is very, very wrong of him. During that period of time in between the fight and him getting caught, he had some time to think, you know, reflect back on his action and also his reaction towards Lou's action the past couple of weeks. Same thing with Lou, and I'm really glad because right after that they actually made up. I really like this particular chapter where Reed kind of looking back to his past with the Archbishop when he was growing up. I kind of hope we will get more of that, Reed's and Lou's individual past before they met in the 3rd book. And I'm not really a crier when I'm reading books, I guess, but I found myself like really almost cried a couple of times. It was kind of a lot emotionally. Lou again lost control of herself and she was almost burned Coco alive, which it was just crazy. But I think that particular moment was really necessary for Lou to kind of remind her. She was able to kind of see what everyone else saw for the past couple of weeks. She's changed. She wasn't able to really, I think she knew deep in her heart that she changed. It wasn't right, but I think she wasn't really able to grasp how bad it is until that moment when she did this kind of magic. She was kind of blacked out, zoned out, wasn't just not herself whatsoever. She wasn't able to really see and listen to what's going on around her. Yeah, after all, I really enjoyed this book way more than I anticipated. The book itself is really good, but I think the fact that I didn't have any high expectation helped me enjoy the book even more. I actually, to be honest, enjoyed the second book even more. I don't know, it has a very different feeling to the first book. I genuinely think Shelby grown so much between the first and second book as a writer. So much better in terms of the writing, the plot, the characters, and just all the scenes, and the world building is a lot better. Like I said a couple of times before, the plot in the second one is just so much better than the first book. It's quite unpredictable, unlike the first one. You know, she was trying to left some clues, but the clues was just too obvious, to the point where I was like, this is so obvious that that's what's going to happen here. So when that actually revealed, I wasn't so shocked anymore. That happened a couple of times during the first book, but in the second one, Shelby managed to sprinkle in a lot of clues in a way that still makes us guessing, you know, which made this book even more enjoyable for me, and just a much more exhilarating experience in my opinion. The characters got more complex, the dynamic changed a lot, just everything in the second book heightened, the stakes are higher. So I think overall for now, Serpent and Dove for me is like 4.2 to 4.5 stars, and the second one I will give around 4.8 stars. I was just trying to be overly critical with it, aren't I? Just 4.8 to 5 star for this book. And now I cannot wait for the third book to come out. I'm so excited, more than ever, after I read this second book. I'm so sorry it was really spoilery, and I'm just going to finish this vlog here. I already talked too much. If you like this, give this video a thumbs up, and also please give me some feedback. What do you want to see more in my future reading vlog? And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and maybe subscribe to my channel if you want. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in my next vlog, which will be the vlog where I read Circe and The Sun Is Also a Star, I think. Yeah, bye.